Jai Hind viewers, we again come to you with another interview for our 1 year of completion of MRO Digest forums. Today we have with us a very eminent member and who is one of our core members of our MRO Digest forums group, who has whom we have been consulting for taking this forum forward at every step. Brigadier YVR Vijay, whom we are interviewing today, served in the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers, where he was Chief Managing Director of an Army base workshop. After retirement from the Army, he entered the renewable energy sector, where he was the COO of Enercon India Limited and subsequently the COO of Suzlon Global Services Limited. He is now a subject matter consultant on renewable energy to Boston Consultancy Group, McKinsey, GLG, GuidePoint, Alpha Sites, and Third Bridge. During the course of this last 1 year, he has given excellent content on our forum's YouTube, as well as on our website in the form of articles. The first one which he gave was on Suzlon MRO recovery, which I recommend you must go and see because it really gives out how an innovative approach and a committed approach and a diligent approach can really make all the difference. They use the resources which are available in an optimum and a very efficient and effective manner. Another one which he has given is on renewable energy disruption, which really tells you the story of how the world is moving in this absolutely new manner, and it is full of insights and eye-opener. Then he hosted a dialogue where he interviewed Lieutenant General N.B. Singh on the topic of military technology cooperation between friendly nations. Later on, he gave a talk on green hydrogen and India hydrogen economy, which is another very insightful, informative talk. And especially if you see this talk, you will see that he converts everything into a comparable unit and makes it very easy for a layperson to understand this complex new method of doing business which is coming about in India. Then he participated in a panel discussion on Make in India. And he again gave a talk, which I feel is a seminal talk on utilizing KPI method to drive and monitor an MRO business. This is a must for any person who is involved in an MRO business because Brigadier Vijay really gives you every single detail of how you are able to establish KPIs and measure the progress day to day, and assured success it will follow. That is my view on the material he has given on this particular video. And recently, on the complex subject of sustain or replace equipment, how to decide, he has given again some seminal and some very good insights. So now I'll request Brigadier Vijay to tell us the journey of his association with MRO Digest, how he heard about it, and how he began to participate and gain from it. And of course, I've told you how we have gained from his interactions. Brigadier Vijay, please.
Thank you, sir. And Jai Hind, everybody. And congratulations to you, and especially you and all members of MRO Digest on completing 1 year. It's been a year in which this MRO Digest has grown from strength to strength, and it now has in its members some of the best brains in the MRO field, from the defense services, from outside also, from the Ministry of Defense. And it's a site which disseminates a huge amount of knowledge and discussion. It was sometime slightly over a year back when there was a post in LinkedIn by, I think it was General Anil Kapoor, where he spoke on data analytics and how data coming from machines can be exploited by an MRO business. So then I had replied to him in that same LinkedIn as a reply post, how we in Suzlon, with the help of our fiber optic link, which has got linked to sensors on each of the turbines, were able to control our 17,000 turbines across the world, in 17 countries, in fact. How we were able to study the performance of the turbines, control the turbines, perform resets, etc. on the turbines. And I replied to him as to how that data analytics helps us in managing our fleet. It was after this that General Matharu got in touch with me and said that we are started this group called MRO Digest. And since you would be able to give insights from both my 30 odd years in the army, as well as 10 years outside, on various aspects of MRO, that he invited me to join the group. I was only too happy to join this group because I know the huge amount of knowledge that I have gained in my 30 odd years in the army on MRO. And when I came out, at least on the operational aspects, there was nothing much to learn. Whatever I learned outside in industry is how to merge MRO operations with business. How to, where in a government organization in MRO, you are looking at how to only optimize performance and minimize costs. But here we were also looking at how to gain revenue. So I joined MRO Digest, and the last 1 year has been personally very, very enriching for me, and taking part in writing all those articles, attending webinars, taking part actively as panel members in some webinars, carrying out one dialogue with General N.B. Singh, and a number of videos which have come out. The first of the articles I wrote in MRO Digest was on augmented reality and virtual reality, how it helps in O&M, especially in the training aspects. And I brought out what we did in Suzlon and how new people were trained on the turbine and how it can be used in entire MRO business. Then after that, in fact, that video, that article is still doing very well on LinkedIn and has crossed almost 10,000 impressions. After that, I wrote an article on how 5G can improve MRO because of the speed of communications, how the data flow can be so much faster, so many more applications can be run in real time. And I subsequently, in the same month, October last year, we wrote an article on how preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, and condition-based monitoring has evolved over the last 40 years, and the various how O&M has changed from just in time or breakdown maintenance to the latest, where you're proactive and predictive and using a lot of condition-based monitoring, IoT sensors, and the latest with AI and machine language. And this year in April, I wrote an article on KPI in MRO. In addition to this, thanks to the group, I was given a chance to come out with some dialogues and monologues on how I helped Suzlon MRO in its recovery from a company which was struggling under debt to become a reasonably cash-rich and profitable MRO company. And I must thank MRO Digest, because it was based on this particular YouTube that came out, that I was contacted by McKinsey and Company, and they involved me in a study where they were studying one of the independent power producing companies, how their MRO is functioning and how to improve its operational effectiveness. And that was a lovely 18-day consultancy which came out. Then I had taken part in another webinar discussion on net zero there's a think tank in which I'm a member, where I spoke on the storage and transmission of hydrogen. And General Matharu asked me to give a monologue on India's green hydrogen policy and what green hydrogen is all about. And that was a video which was very well received across the board, not only in MRO Digest, but among all my following on LinkedIn, etc. And it is also translating slowly into some consultation inquiries which are coming in. And similarly, a lot of webinars, etc. we discussed. So there was a lot that I learned. I was able to tell people what I learned about how to, what the knowledge that we have, how to link it with business parameters, how to convert it into actual numbers, because we are looking on MRO as a business, and how to convert it into numbers of revenue, top line, bottom line, EBITDA, what is the return on capital employed, how to convert it into business numbers, because finally we are looking at how MRO as a business can be very profitable for industry. So that's my association with entry and association over the last 1 year with MRO. I'm personally very thankful for the opportunity MRO Digest has given me, to not only in terms of knowledge, but also in helping me brand myself on LinkedIn in the field of MRO. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brigadier Vijay, for that. So you see, Brigadier Vijay, viewers, is what should I use the word? He's one of our flag bearers. He is literally the person who is leading the way. He has broken new ground, as you could have heard from what he just said. Now, the whole idea of starting this platform, MRO Digest, and from there MRO Digest forums, then from there the YouTube channel and podcast, all these things which we have done. The MRO Digest is the main one where we collate news. The forums is where we put our articles, and the YouTube channel and podcasts are obviously for videos and for podcasts and audio podcasts. Now, the whole idea for this was that to provide a platform to MRO professionals, because the thought which was there, that there is a sort of a vacuum which was there, and I had spent so much time being in this field that I knew that there are, like Vijay, there's so many professionals whom I'm aware of who can give their wisdom, and if they share that with us in an open platform, others can gain from it, and so it will help in nation building. Like we say that MRO touches many points of a nation's comprehensive national power, and that national power is the one which stands with the defense forces. So we want to bolster that. Whatever we can do, having been in this field for such a long time. So we said that we will be able to get value through discourse. And in fact, every single day where I have been interacting, I have been learning. After having spent 4 decades, I'm every day learning from our members. And some of the young members who have joined us recently, it is a pleasure to see the clarity with which they talk and the insights which they bring. So that's what has been personally a very enriching experience for me. Now, in the case of Brigadier Vijay, it's an excellent example for anybody who is in the MRO field. Especially, I would now look at our own the land forces, where EME, from which both of us come. Officers who are now when they transit into, I would say, from uniform they transit into the civilian street for their next innings. Here is an example of a person who rose, and he was rising to the highest level. We knew that he was doing so well, and he made a choice, and he left, and he joined the corporate sector. But when he did that, he carried with him from what I have garnered from whatever he has been telling us, all the knowledge which he had become. He was a top-notch professional, and he imbibed all of that. And when he walked into the wind energy field, I think he found a lot of similarities there, because in the armed forces also, our the equipment is deployed in a very broad frontage. It is not, in penny packets sometimes, and you have to provide the repair cover at each point. Now, a similarity I think was there in the case of wind energy, where the equipment is deployed in large areas. And the second issue is that when you go away from the from the built up areas, we go into the countryside, which happens in the case of the army also. The communication deteriorates, and it's not possible for you to always easily communicate. And especially during the time when he did this, if you listen to his talk, you'll see things were not things were even now they have become so much better, and even the technologies which were available to him at that time maybe were not so much. But then he along with other EME officers, they did it. They were able to patch things through, and he managed the data center. You just listen to his talk, you'll see how well that worked. And by virtue of getting real-time data and giving out real-time instructions to his maintainers, just like we would do in the armed forces, the whole thing started moving around. And availability started going up, production started going up. And I remember he was saying that instead of contracts not being followed in time, they started finishing before time, and as a result, they started getting bonuses. So from the the companies they were providing service to. So this wind energy, the shift from army to wind energy is a classic example of how the strengths of what you learn in the armed forces can come in very handy when you go to the civil environment. And there's no doubt about it that if you look at his videos, I mentioned the names. There are certain things which I heard maybe for the first time from him. And one of the things which I heard was levelizing cost. So he explained in one of his talks that when they were looking at the decision was to be made as to when to replace an equipment. So that decision is a tough decision because a capital expenditure is involved. So he was bringing out the levelizing cost to the owner of the equipment, so that the owner then could strategize and see how they will be able to change the equipment or not change. That came out as a excellent method, I would say, of doing this. The second thing which I recollect is what I mentioned, the KPIs. I have already talked about that. So that is something which you must see the way he has brought it out. And like when he's talking about this term operations and maintenance, we say MRO because we say maintenance, repair. In our case, it's overall. But no doubt, we can say MRO or MROO, wherein maintenance, repair, overall, and operations. Because only a maintained equipment will be able to operate. So operations and maintenance is where our group can come in, and where so much of knowledge has been imparted by Brigadier Vijay, for which we are very thankful to him for being with us. And we are very happy that the platform has been able to do brand building, not do, platform has done nothing. The platform is only providing a space for him to express himself. And through the way he has expressed himself, his brand has got built. And nowadays, with the barriers to competition coming down tremendously to the various types of media, like, for example, we are recording this video for YouTube. And the opportunity to build brand of an individual is there. And not only that, just an opportunity, it's also a necessity, is what I am realizing after this 1 year. And we're very happy that this platform he was able to utilize for brand building, because the raison d'etre of this platform is just this, to give a platform for MRO professionals to talk about their wisdom. And if brand building happens, it is all the more better. And we would look forward to having many more MRO professionals joining us. We have got excellent members like Brig YVR Vijay to help them do what they would like to do on this platform. The platform is available to all MRO professionals. So, Brigadier Vijay, you have indeed mentioned already that you have had some enriching experiences. It's mutual. So, could you dwell on that a little bit more about what was it that you gained by being, learned about MRO? Maybe you already know so much, but did you learn more and from your experience here in the group from the other members? Brigadier Vijay, please.
Yes. So the MRO Digest, if one looks at all the members who are in MRO Digest today, they are possibly educationally the most educated lot of MRO specialists. When we look in industry, a person typically there are very few people who have qualifications which are beyond the basic graduation, and maybe in a few cases an MBA. But when you look at the qualification of the people who are on MRO Digest, one is they are generally a BTech. More than 80% of them have got an MTech or an equivalent. They've got an MBA or equivalent. They've got a rich experience and qualifications on strategic management and management of equipment management. Army is one of the defense services, one of the unique organizations which pulls a person out every 3-4 years and imparts some education into him. They keep on training. Industry outside cannot afford that. So at around 30 years or 40 years when we come out, we are very rich. A knowledge base is phenomenally rich. We are possibly weak because we have not studied the business angle of MRO, but in all other aspects, we are unmatchable. I remember when I came out of the service and wanted this job outside in the renewable energy field, and we looked at the wind turbine as such. Leaving the blades of the wind turbine, every equipment is there in the Army today, whether it is a generator, whether it's a motor, whether it is managing your supply chain, whether it is your steel, whether it is your electrical systems. Every equipment and type of technology is there in the Army. It is the cutting edge of technology. The blade is, of course, a unique aspect where composites, we don't have so much in the Army. But there was nothing on which we did not have the knowledge. I did not have the knowledge then. And I realized it was so easy to get into it. Then we are a unique organization which trains people not just in maintenance, but in the whole gamut. We are trained in supply chain. We know how to do inventory management. We know how to provision. We know, of course, procurement, we do not have so much knowledge, but provisioning, we are experts on provisioning. We are experts on managing our HR component. We are experts in training our HR. So it is only in finance, a little bit on customer relations, that we are not comparable to somebody outside. But otherwise, on all aspects, our knowledge base is much, much higher. So this helped me within the industry. And when I came into MRO, I was just posting all these and learning from what others did, and said, here is a wonderful platform on which we can project ourselves. We can project our combined strength and we can project ourselves individually. So what I began to do was, I used MRO Digest as a platform by which I can build my brand. Every post that I put on MRO Digest, I again reposted it on LinkedIn with few comments of mine. Every video of mine on YouTube, I shared it in all my groups. I'm a member of many groups. I shared it on LinkedIn. So I was able to build my, that personal brand and influence and get my profile optimized on LinkedIn. Post from myself, post from others of MRO Digest, on which I used to repost with a few views, videos of mine, videos of MRO Digest where other experts were interviewed. I used to repost on LinkedIn and put it on LinkedIn. Because the advantage of LinkedIn is it gets you a far greater research than other social media platforms. If I have to compare Facebook and LinkedIn, in Facebook, when you put a post, not more than 5% of your followers will see it. But when you put a post on LinkedIn, because of the way the algorithm is structured, you will find that sometimes the impressions which come are almost twice or thrice your number of followers, because the spread of LinkedIn is such. And over the last 1 year, I've seen, thanks to MRO Digest, more and more people become aware of you. And this has helped. One example it has helped me is getting this consultancy with McKinsey. It helped me in getting a small consultancy with Boston Consultancy Group, where I guided. The distant client was JSW Energy, and they wanted to set up a blade manufacturing plant. They wanted to know what goes on in a blade manufacturing plant. I've been able to guide a number of consultancies on supply chain management, on aspects of renewable energy, on aspects of how you can assess the performance using KPIs. That KPI post of mine also helped a lot. Similarly, the post on hydrogen, I think, is now gaining some traction, because hydrogen is a field which is coming in. Another very interesting aspect which I would like to bring out is how, when we are interacting with each other and thinking with an open mind, opportunities suddenly come up. So we have Commodore Sujit Samadar in our group. So some time back, I think almost about 3 months back, he contacted me and said that he knows a Canadian company which is manufacturing nickel membranes, which are of a fine thickness, nano thickness type of 25 micron thickness, in fact, not nano thickness, which is very useful in manufacturing the proton electronic membrane PEM electrolyzers in a hydrogen factory. So he said, do you know anybody in India who would be interested in this technology? So here is another MRO Digest person trying to explore an opportunity with me. So I said, let me see. And I put it in my other groups. I said, can somebody give me a contact with whom I can do this? So I got one contact of a particular person in the US. I won't take names of companies or anything, because that is still a live project on, where he said they are not working on PEMs, but they are working on the alkaline electrolyzer. And he said, I am interested, I've got a patent, and I'm interested in setting up a factory in India. So now I came back with this new requirement, and I began to search for companies in India who would like to collaborate with him. And we found a particular company, again, through one of my service contacts, not on MRO Digest, but through one of my service contacts. Their son is running a very good renewable energy company. And we are trying to get this collaboration, which will bring in one of India's largest, hopefully one of India's largest electrolyzer factories in India. That was one opportunity. Another opportunity I got is based on all these videos, etc. on the net. Two companies got in touch with me. There was a particular company which wants, it's a port logistic company, and it wants to become a power producing company. And another company had done a lot of study on land, suitable land sites, and they had a rich data of suitable land sites. And he wanted my help in seeing how he can monetize this knowledge that he has. So then it began what we learned from this group of how we can keep connecting the dots together. So I've first of all, this new company wanted to put up a small plant, 50 megawatts, but 50 megawatts also requires huge investment. A megawatt is almost 10 crores nowadays. So we looked at who will buy the power. And in India, as we know, in the C&I sector, commercial and industrial sector, power sells very costly at almost 8 rupees a unit. But the government has an open access method by which we can sell this power cheaper. So I knew with a 50 megawatt project, he will be manufacturing about almost 15 crore units of power a year. And I looked out in industry, and we identified people who are ready to buy this power. Then we got back to the company with the land assets, and we asked him what would he bring to the table. So he said, if I could sell my land, I will bring so much investment onto the table. And the company who wanted to become an IPP then said, if you can get this, I will put so much on the table. Based on that, we got in touch with an OEM who's manufacturing turbines. And he has said, if my turbines sell on this project, I will finance the machines on this project till I get my revenue back. And now we have got a base on which we can work on. And so now we can look for private equity to come in as investors. So another company is helping me find the private equity investors. So this is the knowledge which we learn through MRO Digest, through the various webinars and discussions, that we have to complete the loop. Initially, a problem looks insurmountable. It looks as though there's a lot of bureaucracy around, but there are always loopholes to complete the loop. And so these are some wonderful ways in which MRO Digest has helped me learn, and as well as given me opportunities outside. Now that I've retired almost 2 years back, suddenly you realize that with our knowledge and with the knowledge of this huge platform, that there is scope. And looking at all these various developments, one day Brigadier Bharadwaj had put up a post, Adarsh Bharadwaj, he put up a post saying, sir, we all have so much knowledge, we will be an asset outside to industry as consultants because we know all aspects of it. And that sparked a new idea. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Brigadier Vijay, what you have actually today for the first time, I heard it said in such clarity how you are going about, step by step, picking up, taking things forward. It's quite an amazing effort, and the way you are able to put everything together is it's quite it's wonderful to see, and it's really very encouraging. So I suppose if we be at it, then more such opportunities are bound to come, and the members coming together really also strengthens the ability to respond to such, like you have given examples. So now you mentioned about it that Brigadier Adarsh Bharadwaj mentioned that post. And then from there, viewers, what is that led to is that Brigadier YVR Vijay has now founded another platform where some of our members are also participating. And that is now called MRO Performance. And I will request Brigadier YVR Vijay to tell us about that so that the viewers come to know about this new platform which is now available. Brigadier Vijay, please.
Thank you, sir. So after the Adarsh Bharadwaj spoke to me and 2-3 people endorsed that message that he had given, I spoke to General Matharu and said, this is a very good idea and how do we go about it? So what he suggested is, let's keep MRO Digest as a knowledge dissemination platform where we exchange views on how to enhance MRO, how MRO can support us in national growth, how national industry problems on MRO issues can be resolved, find at a knowledge-based level. And let's create a separate vertical where we can do this and where we can offer our experts in their various fields of expertise as consultants to industry. And industry, not just in defense, but across the board, because our knowledge base is spread across, it can handle almost any industry. I gave an example where the wind industry, apart from the blade, we know everything. So then I analyzed as to what are those areas of expertise which our MRO Digest members have. So then I realized that our expertise comes in operations and manufacturing. We have great expertise on maintenance and reliability. We have expertise on indigenization of spares, because spares, the defense services having old fleets, which are obsolete or nearing obsolescence. Manufacture and localization of spares is an essential aspect. Supply chain, ERP issues are another area where we have a lot of expertise. Quality management, because in any O&M or MRO, quality is very essential. So we actually have a lot of theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge at enforcing quality systems. Like there we have specific courses where quality is imparted to us in our organization. And we implement those quality aspects into our knowledge base. Then we have worked at various levels of hierarchies, starting from small 10-man MRO organizations to large MRO organizations like base workshops, which has got almost 2,000 odd people. So we know how an asset can be set up, an MRO facility can be set up, what all can we do to modernize MRO setups. So asset modernization and asset improvement and asset setting up is another great strength that members of the MRO Digest have. And of course, there's no organization like ours who has such a rich experience in human capital development. Because we train our people from the lowest level right up to becoming super specialist experts. And we know at what stage is training supposed to be imparted in the life of either a technician or an engineer, so that he grows, he contributes, and keeps rising in an organization. And then I realized what all other, then we sat down, we all of us sat down. We had, I think, 2 seminars before this idea of the website came up. What are the industries where we can contribute? So the first, of course, was defense, then on the aviation industry, because we do a huge amount of work and aviation is where MRO is really opening up. Then on heavy equipment, basically heavy weapons, and also on the big sea vehicles like tractors, earth movers, etc. We have capabilities. We have capabilities in electronics MRO. We have capabilities in manufacturing spares for industry through reverse engineering. We had a member, Ashok, who has given us a lot of interesting insights into the field of 3D manufacture. And so the manufacture of spares. Then through general envisaging, we got the idea of that one of the areas where civil industry really needs knowledge and support is in designing ESP, engineering support packages to support an equipment profile. And of course, renewable energy was my field. So we said these are our expertise areas where we can offer consultancies. These are the industries we can offer consultancies. And now we have to brand build this exercise. So what I did was to brand build, we created this website and we have decided to populate it. It is still an exercise and a work in progress, populated with case studies where we actually bring out our experience of how we perform something in MRO, white papers written by us or famous white papers which are there in the open source, various small insights into how we handle things. General Matharu has allowed me access to the material of MRO Digest and the webinars which I can use to brand build MRO Performance. And a page where all those keen on offering themselves as consultants in this whole exercise, a small description on each of them. And I'm happy that we have reached about almost 20 consultants, and over this whole range of expertise, we have got experts. So that is how then we hired somebody and decided to create this website. So if you permit, sir, in about 3-4 minutes, I can show the website as well.
Please go ahead.
Right. So this is the landing page of our MRO Performance website, where it brings out a little bit of our history, the mission, the values, and what carriers are available through MRO Performance. Our areas of expertise, which I just spoke to you about, we are experts in operations, manufacturing. We are experts in maintenance, reliability, indigenization, supply chain, ERP optimization, quality management, asset modernization, human capital development. The industries where we can really help them to resolve their problems, to analyze the way they are working, to suggest improvements, both business-wise as well as in operations. The aerospace, aviation, heavy equipment MRO, electronics MRO, defense spares manufacture, engineering support packages, and renewable energy. And in the resource field, various case studies. This is the brand building link. We will be putting up various case studies of how we resolve problems, white papers, insights, and a link to the webinars and papers which we have written in MRO Digest. And in the end, our consultants. So in our consultants page, we have got a list of our consultants who are available on this group, and each of these is a link to our consultants who are there. And if you see, they're all experts in various aspects of MRO, right from the strategic level they're experts in the Air Force, Army, Navy. With the MOD, we have Mr. Pradeep Gupta, and we have people who have like Lieutenant Commander Girish, who has left the army early and made a success for himself outside on various projects of the defense. And if you link up to any of the pictures, you will get a small write-up about that particular consultant, where the strengths of that consultant are brought out. This is in broad the view of our MRO performance. Now the next challenge is we have the base. The next challenge in connecting the dots is to find out who needs us. And I can assure you, every industry needs the type of expertise we offer. Now we have to reach out to them and tell them what we can offer them. So we will be doing this with the help of seminars. We already had one seminar which we conducted recently on what strength India can bring to MRO within India and outside India, where we had people from Australia speak, as well as people who spoke on how the MRO industry is looking around outside India as well as within India. So we will be conducting seminars, webinars, contacting industry and telling them in what areas we can help them. So this is how the idea of MRO performance came up, and we've got a ball rolling on a different angle, which is on offering consultancy to industry outside. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brigadier Vijay, for that introduction to MRO performance to our viewers. Viewers, you can see the quality of the consultants as he was mentioning, and the contact details are available on that MROperformance.com, and the link is there in the show notes below this particular video. So you're welcome to go there and you can contact Brigadier Vijay. And if you feel that out of what he has said is something which is useful to you. And of course, now it remains for me to thank Brigadier Vijay for his time today and for this interview and for giving especially his own experience in such detail, which will be very encouraging for any future MRO professionals who come on our platform. I'm sure they will contact you, they will look up to you to guide them. And knowing Brigadier Vijay, he is very helpful all the time, especially within our group also. When there's anything which comes up, he is always giving his comments and he is enlightening us, and we all gain from his rich experience both in the army and in the corporate sector. So Brigadier Vijay, we look forward to being with you in the future and look at you for also helping us like you have done in the past year. And together, I am sure we will be able to, again, the root, the basic purpose of the platform being that how we can bring MRO professionals together, because MRO is in every facet, everywhere MRO is there. Without maintenance, nothing works, and everything, even in the high-tech area, even more importantly so. So we would, we look forward to your support and your contribution, your wisdom and future in all aspects, the aspects of articles, the aspects of videos and podcasts also, which is now sort of nascent, but maybe we can bring it up because that's also a good format. Audio format is good. So we could consider that also. And we wish MRO Performance all the success. And on behalf of all our members, we thank you for putting it together. The amount of effort you have put into, I know I can see how it has shaped up. So please accept my compliments for that and gratitude, mine as well as of the members for having put it together. And with that, viewers, we come to an end of this episode of our interviews on the occasion of 1 year of completion of MRO Digest forums. And we look forward to being with you again with another interview of one of our members. And I will now close this interview. Viewers, thank you for being with us. Jai Hind.